Hello everyone, welcome back. In this video, we are going to see how to perform drag and drop operations using CITS. So this is a demo application where the behavior is like if I select the amount, if you look at the bottom tables, the debit side amount and the credit side amount get highlighted. That means this amount 5,000 can either be dragged to the debit side or be dragged to the credit side. So I'm going to drag it to the debit side, and a data is being recorded which says debit movement of 5,000. If I select bank, then the debit side account is highlighted, so I can only place it here. Okay. Uh, I'm going to select sales, and I see that only the credit side account is highlighted, so I can only place it here. And the amount 5,000, I'm going to place it here in the credit amount. Right, and then we have a success message. Right, so this is the behavior of the application. This is what we are going to perform or do in an automated way using kits. So let me reload the application and let me try to first go to the tool and capture the elements. So I will quickly create a scenario called drag and drop, and then create a test case underneath TC1. Now, the first couple of steps are fairly simple. Browser, open, and then I'm going to open this URL. Yeah, and then I'm going to say browser, wait for page loaded. Quite good. Now, I'm going to start the spy, object spy, go to the application, click on the extension to enable spy, and then I'll quickly spy and add the bank element, the sales element, and the amount element, right? So these are the three items that I want to drag. So these are my source elements. Now, this is one of my target elements. So if I mouse hover on the debit side account section, I see the blue rectangle indicates where can I place the element, either in this case bank. I think it's only bank. So here I'm going to spy it, control right click. So you see placeholder is added. Uh, then I'm going to also spy the credit side account section. So that's placeholder 1. And the debit side amount, that's placeholder 2. And the credit side amount, that's placeholder 3. So we have to rename these placeholders properly, otherwise it could get a little confusing. Yeah, so what we will do is we will add these ones, sales 5,000, and we will also spy and add this success message. Control right click. So this has been added. Yeah. So now that these elements have been added to kits, all we need to do is create our test case real quick. Okay. So bank, sales, and 5,000. So I would probably first try to rename these placeholders. So the first one, I'm guessing, was debit account. The second one was credit account. And the third one was debit amount. And the fourth one was credit amount. Yeah. And then perfect is the success message. Um, so the way to do this is I would have to say bank, right? Which is the element that I want to drag, and the action would be drag and drop element. So it's a built-in action, drag and drop element. And I need to say that I want to drag and drop this bank element to debit account. Okay. So click on the name of the page, click and hold, and then drag it to the input column, right? So that brings the name of the page in the input column. Then you put a colon, and then you enter the name of the object where you want to place it, right? So bank and drag and drop to element. This is the name of the page, and this is the object where you want to place it. Fairly simple. Sales, drag and drop the name of the page here. The action would be the same, drag and drop element. And this time we would use credit account, right? So credit account. Now 5,000 will go once to debit and once to credit amount. So the action will remain the same, drag and drop element. So this one would first go to debit amount and then finally credit amount. Yeah. So this is what this is how the steps will look like. And if I just add this success message assertion, so I'm going to assert that this element is visible. Assert element present. That's it. So this will assert whether the element is present or not. This is more or less the steps uh, that we have to perform. So I'm going to put a breakpoint on line number 3. Yeah, and then I'm going to run this in debug mode so that we can see it running step by step. Okay, I don't want to accept all the cookies. I'm going to reject all. Okay, so let's see what we have. We have the URL opened, we have the page loaded, and if I click on the next step, it is trying to identify the element bank, and then it is going to try and drop it to the right location. So you see, uh, bank has been dragged and dropped to debit account. All right, so that's pretty good. Then the next step, it is trying to identify sales, and then okay, first it's going to use link text, and then it is going to use the XPath. So it has identified sales and dragged and dropped it to the accounts section of the credit side. Then moving on, it is trying to identify the amount, the uh, button 5,000, or the element 5,000, and then dragged and dropped it to the debit amount. Okay, and then finally we want the same 5,000 to be dragged and dropped to the credit side. Okay, super. So the drag and drop operations are successful. Then the final one is to simply assert the presence of this success message. So if I do that, yeah, it says that element perfect is present. So that passes the test case. And if I open up the report, I see the report showing all the drag and drop operations that it has performed, along with the success message and a screenshot. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So this is how we perform drag and drop operations using CITS. See you all in the next video.